Hello, I'm doing a quick tutorial video today on Loyal, Brave, and True. This is my arrangement, and I am going to tell you what you need to know to be able to play it. So the first thing I want to show you is this 6/8 time signature. I'll get it up a little closer. You see there is a 6 over an 8. That may be a time signature that you have not seen before, and it's not hard. They're just some things you need to know. So let's talk about that. I'm hoping this is readable. So we know what time signatures are. The top number tells us how many beats will be in every measure. So in this case, 6 beats in every measure. Now here's where things get a little different from what you've done before. This time, the bottom note has an 8, and that means that the 8th note gets 1 beat. Well, that's going to change all of our note values, but don't worry, it's not hard to do. You'll see, you just kind of roll into it. It's easy to do. But things are going to change. So, since the 8th note gets 1 beat, an eighth note here gets 1 beat, an 8th rest, which looks like this, also gets 1 beat. So a quarter note is going to get 2 beats. That means a quarter rest also gets 2 beats. A dotted quarter note will now get 3 beats. So a dotted quarter rest will also get 3 beats. And a dotted half note is going to get 6 beats. The rest I drew next to that is a whole rest because a whole rest always takes up the whole measure. Now, you may not have had 16th notes before. They look like 8th notes, but they have 2 flags or 2 beams. So these notes are always twice as fast as 8th notes. So, in this case, we'll count 1 and for each of those 16th notes. Now, below that, I have several measures that I've taken from, measures of rhythm that is, that I've taken from the piece itself. And I want to demonstrate to you how you play and count those. This first one has a dotted quarter followed by another dotted quarter, and they each get 3 beats. I'm going to play it and count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how that one goes. This one is 3 8th notes followed by a quarter followed by an 8th note, and we would play that one this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one has a dotted quarter note followed by an 8th rest followed by 2 8th notes, and it will go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, quarter note, 8th note, quarter note, 8th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this one is the fun one that we get sometimes. It's this sound. So this is cool. These are 16th notes. There are 4 of them on the same beam with a single 8th note. See how the double beams stop here, and then there's only 1, followed by a quarter and an 8th note. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Or I could count all of the ands and go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay? So, don't let that scare you. It's really not hard to do. Let's see, continuing to talk about issues that relate to rhythm, look at the very first measure. We have an incomplete measure. Together, those 2 16th notes add up to 1 8th note, which is 1 beat. So what we'll do at the beginning is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, anything else to do with rhythm? I think that covers the rhythm. Let's talk about left-hand hand positions. At the very beginning of the piece, your left hand starts here. I have my pinky on A, my thumb on E, and I'm right here over bass C. This little pink flag is marking my middle C, so this is bass C. There are only 2 positions for the left hand in the whole piece. There's this position, and then there's this position. If you look over at measure 13, I'll give you a second to find measure 13. It's on page 2 on the second line, last measure. that is where left hand will move. My third finger is on this F. That is the second position the left hand uses. Left hand is always either here or here. Now, a quick word about finger numbers. You'll see that there are quite a few finger numbers in this piece, more than I usually put, because I'm intending this arrangement to be for students who are really just graduating into moving to new hand positions and not being stuck in a 5-finger position. So I put quite a few finger numbers in there, but the only time you have to move your hand is when there's a circled finger number. If the finger number is not circled, then it just plays right where it is. Okay, I want to now, I'm going to talk about individual measures, and then I'm going to go back and play the whole piece for you. So let's look first at measure 3. Back on the first page. You've had your hand in this position, right hand, and now you're going to pick your hand up and move number 2 to E. Remember, we're looking at measure 3 on the first page. Did you see how I crossed over like I was playing a scale? And when I do cross over, it puts my thumb here. Okay. Then in the next measure, right after that repeat sign, I take my thumb to C. We're going to come back and talk about repeat signs in a minute. Now, measure 6, you'll see the very first finger number is circled. I just have to take my hand up one place. Then at the top of the second page, measure 9, I go right back to thumb on C. Then immediately up 1. Now, I have that whole little bit marked off as section B. So measure 5 right after the repeat sign all the way down to the end of the page is section B, and then you're going to play section B another time at the top of the second page. So 2 for the price of 1. I would start off in your process of learning this piece, learning to play the right hand by itself. Get good at that section, right hand by itself. And then it's going to be very easy to add the left hand because all the left hand does is this. So I'm going to play section B, hands together. Shift. Shift back down 1. That's section B. See how easy it is to just bounce along with your left hand on beat 1 and 3. Okay, moving on to section C. I'm in this position. I've got to lift my hand and take my thumb to the A. Now I'm ready for all of section C. The left hand, and I would learn right hand first by itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's all of section C. Left hand, this is your second position. 3's on the F, and it just plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it does it another time. When you're ready, when you can play hands separately in section C, then you're ready to put it together at snail speed. Step up, left hand. Step up. Repeat left hand. Back to F. Step up, left hand. Step up, left hand. So work on that section at snail speed and you'll get it. Let's jump down now to the bottom of page 2 to section D, which starts at the end of measure 18. Section D. Gonna lift my hand and move my 2 to middle C. And there are several crossover and cross unders that happen in all of this piece, but here you have a cross under followed really quickly by a crossover. So watch how I do that. Gonna do it really slowly. Cross under, crossover. Okay, then keep going. I'm up at the top of the 3rd page. Cross under, crossover. Now notice there right under that first ending mark, I'll talk about that in a minute, that is measure 22, where the word is true. Notice that I've got a skip between my 2 finger and my thumb finger, and so I have that number 1 circled. That note with 2 ledger lines there is the A. So C has 1 ledger line, A has 2 ledger lines. Okay? I don't think there's anything else that I need to do a measure by measure demonstration of. So what I want to do now is talk about the road map. Of course, you're going to start at the beginning. You're going to play, play, play. Then you come to this thing that looks like a repeat sign, but the dots are on the other side. Now, if you're my student, you know that I like to call those the bouncing balls. And the side of the double bar that they're on is the side of the wall they bounce off of. So since we're coming this way, there are no balls on this side of the repeat sign, so we don't bounce. We just keep going. And we keep going until we get to page 3, where we have another repeat sign. And that repeat sign does have bouncing balls on the side of the wall that we're approaching. So once we hit that wall, we have to bounce all the way back to this repeat sign. Now, look again at page 3. At the top of the page, we have a 1 with this bar, with this line, and the line keeps going all the way down to the repeat sign. Everything under that line is called the first ending. We only play that the first time. So we come through here, we play all of the first ending, we bounce off the repeat sign, we go back and we do verse 2. And we keep on going until we get here the second time. Now, that was the first ending. We don't want to play that again. We're going to go to the second ending. So when you're coming through the second time, you skip from here to here, and then you keep going to the end. So that is the road map. Now that I've done all of that, I'm just going to play a demonstration of the piece, and I'm going to have to stop and grab my 4th page when I get there. Here we go. Loyal, Brave, and True from Mulan. left a note out. And that's it. Hope you enjoy it.